First time in 119 years, the Albert Pike statue is off of its pedestal, and you can still see signs of what happened here last night. As for where the statue is right now, the National Park Service came and got it earlier today, not releasing where it is now, only that they are working to determine next steps. In a monumental moment on Juneteenth 2020, protesters who were tired of waiting for officials to remove D.C.'s Confederate Albert Pike statue took matters into their own hands and pulled it down themselves.
He was forced to resign even from the Confederacy.
According to the encyclopedia, Albert Pike was a Confederate general who, after only 2 years, was charged with misappropriating funds and letting his troops mutilate Union soldiers in 1862. After that, civil rights leaders say he was rumored to have written the rituals for the Ku Klux Klan, but history blogs say that wasn't certain. He was also responsible for growing the biggest Scottish Rite branch of the Freemasons, who paid for the D.C. statue. And on that statue, he is dressed as a Freemason, not as a Confederate soldier.
Albert Pike. You might have heard the name. A Confederate general, a poet, a philosopher, a 33rd degree Freemason. But if you've been digging through the rabbit holes, he's something more. Some say he predicted the first 2 world wars and mapped out the third. Others say he laid the spiritual foundation for secret societies that influence governments to this day. So who was he? A misunderstood mystic or a shadowy architect of control? Let's peel back the layers and see what he left behind. Albert Pike was born in 1809, a towering intellect, fluent in Latin, Hebrew, Sanskrit, and nearly a dozen other languages. He was a teacher, lawyer, journalist, soldier, and eventually a general in the Confederate Army during the American Civil War. But his real fame came after the war in the world of Freemasonry. He joined the Scottish Rite and rose to become the Sovereign Grand Commander. There, he wrote one of the most cryptic and influential texts in modern esotericism, Morals and Dogma, a 900-page tome drenched in ancient wisdom, Hermetic principles, Egyptian mythology, alchemical symbols, and Luciferian metaphors. Yes, Luciferian. And that one word is why Pike's name never quite faded away. Morals and Dogma wasn't a book for the public. Pike wrote it specifically for fellow high-level Masons, those who had passed the first 32 degrees and were ready for the truth. And that truth? Reality is layered. Symbols are everything. And light, true light, comes not from faith, but from knowledge. One quote from Pike stirred endless controversy. Lucifer, the light-bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. Is it he who bears the light? Critics screamed, "See, it's Satan worship," but esoterics say he was speaking in metaphor, Lucifer as knowledge, not evil. Still, in a world where perception is power, that ambiguity is enough to spark legends. Now comes the real fire starter, a letter allegedly written in 1871 by Pike to another revolutionary, Giuseppe Mazzini. In this letter, never officially verified, Pike outlines a plan for 3 world wars, each one designed to reshape the global order, piece by piece. World War I, to overthrow the czars in Russia and set up communism. World War II, to pit fascists against Zionists and create a Jewish state in Palestine. World War III, to ignite a clash between Islam and the West, ending in global chaos and a new world order. Sounds insane, right? Except the first 2 already happened. Create the problem, watch the reaction, offer the solution. This is known as the Hegelian dialectic. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis, order out of chaos. It's been used by rulers, corporations, and secret societies for centuries. So even if Pike didn't write it, someone thought in those terms, and that alone is terrifyingly powerful. Albert Pike didn't hide his interest in ancient mystery schools. He openly studied Kabbalah, Zoroastrianism, Gnosticism, and Egyptian rituals. To him, Masonry wasn't a club. It was an initiation into ancient truths lost to time. He believed humanity could be divided into two groups: the profane, those who follow blindly, and the initiate, those who know. Sound familiar? That's the foundation of every elite group that's ever controlled a society. Knowledge as power, mystery as leverage, and symbols as tools of control. Pike mastered one of the most dangerous laws in the 48 Laws of Power, Law 6, court attention at all cost. Even in death, Pike continues to polarize. Some call him a Satanist, others a misunderstood genius. Some see him as a prophet of war, others a scholar who got hijacked by conspiracy theorists. But that's the thing about power. Truth doesn't always matter. Perception is king. If people believe Pike was a prophet or a villain, that belief shapes their actions, and that's more powerful than any gun or army. Fast forward to 2020. Pike's statue stood for over a century in Washington, D.C., the only Confederate general with that honor, until protesters tore it down and burned it in the streets. Why Pike? Why now? He was never a battlefield hero. He wasn't even that well known outside Masonry. Unless the message wasn't about history, it was about what he represented: occult power, elite secrecy, the manipulation of truth across generations. And maybe that scared people more than any statue ever could. So let's ask the real question. Was Albert Pike a mastermind who scripted the fall of nations? Or was he a symbol? A mirror reflecting how badly people crave answers, even in shadows. Here's what we do know. Pike understood ancient systems of belief that most modern minds ignore. He wrapped his ideas in symbols and riddles, because he knew the masses wouldn't look twice, and he either predicted or inspired conflicts that still shape our world.
Albert Pike may have done something even more powerful than predicting the future. He influenced belief. He made himself unforgettable, untouchable, and ultimately unprovable. And in the game of power, that's the highest level you can reach. To control the story after you're gone, that's the real occult art. So ask yourself, was Pike just a man? Or did he write a map that the world's been following ever since?